Hello and welcome. If you are here today, it's likely because you are walking a path that is deeply beautiful, but also incredibly challenging. You're caring for a loved one with dementia or Alzheimer's disease. Today, we're talking about grace-filled caregiving. That's uniting a deep, compassionate wisdom with proven clinical therapeutic strategies. So, take a deep breath. And remember that you are not alone on this journey. Let's dive in. I often tell caregivers that dementia is a journey of both science and soul. It's a neurological disease with very real medical facets, but it's also a spiritual landscape. Our goal is simple. We want to help you just to balance these two worlds. We want to honor your loved one's eternal dignity while giving you very practical, boots on the ground, de-escalation scripts to make your day smoother. And let's be honest, less stressful for all of you. First, let's talk about the absolute cornerstone of dementia care. If you remember nothing else from today's video, remember this golden rule. Validate, don't debate. Validate, don't debate. Let's see what that looks like in action. Here's the cold, hard clinical truth. You cannot win an argument with a damaged brain. When dementia is at play, the brain's logic and reasoning, their centers are offline. Trying to use logic, quiz them, or correct them, like saying, "Mom, I just told you that 5 minutes ago," only sets off their brain's internal threat alarm. Instead, our golden rule is always validate. Meet them in their reality. If they're convinced it's 1984 and they need to catch a school bus, arguing with them is only going to make them feel unsafe. Let's look at how we can pivot instead. In our daily lives as caregivers, 3 giant behavioral hurdles tend to keep us up at night. First, we have repetitive questions, which are usually fueled by a quiet, nagging anxiety. Second, there's paranoia and accusations, where the brain tries to write a creative story for something it genuinely can't remember. And third, shadowing, where they follow you everywhere. Yes, even to the bathroom, because you have become their only physical anchor in a world that feels increasingly blurry. Let's look at how we de-escalate these situations with grace. Let's start with accusations. Imagine your loved one looks at you and says, "You stole my money. You're hiding my purse." Your natural human instinct is to get defensive. "I didn't touch your purse." But notice what happens when we pivot the partnership. Instead of arguing, we validate the emotion behind the accusation. Try this script next time. "Oh, Mom, that sounds incredibly frustrating. I would be upset if my wallet was missing too. Let's look for it together right now." In one sentence, you've stopped being their adversary and you've become their ally. You're on the same team. It's about pivoting toward partnership. Now, what about repetitive questions? It's easy to lose our patience when we're asked the exact same question for the 12th time in an hour. But remember, to them, they are asking it for the very first time. They are looking for safety. When they ask, "When are we leaving?" don't use logic. Pivot to a calming sensory distraction. You could try saying, "We are completely safe right here, and we don't have to rush. Let's sit together and enjoy this warm cup of tea first." You've reassured their anxiety. You've kept your voice identical and soothing, and you've changed the subject to a physical, comforting activity. But caregiving isn't just about behavioral scripts. It's really a marathon for your soul. Spiritually, we anchor ourselves in 3 pillars of grace. First, the Imago Dei, the belief that your loved one is made in the image of God. Their worth and identity don't depend on how well their memory performs. When they forget who they are, or even who you are, they are still fully remembered and held by God. Second, we practice holy lament. Grieving someone who is still physically present is a unique weight called ambiguous loss. It's okay to be sad, tired, or even angry. God is big enough for your grief. And finally, there's sensory faith. When conversation fades, try singing old hymns together, reading familiar scriptures like Psalm 23, or simply holding their hand in peaceful silence. The soul recognizes these pathways. Now, a very serious word to you, the caregiver. I want you to read this quote with me. Seeking support, taking respite, and setting firm boundaries is not a failure of love. It is the responsible stewardship of your own life and capacity. My friend, you cannot pour from an empty cup. Running yourself into clinical exhaustion is not a sign of great faith or great love. It is simply unsustainable. Taking care of yourself is part of taking care of them. As we close our training today, remember to extend that same grace to yourself. You will lose your patience sometimes. You will snap or sigh. Forgive yourself quickly. You are human, doing the holy, hard work. I highly recommend checking out resources like Dr. Dunlop's book, Finding Grace in the Face of Dementia. Thank you for the incredible unseen love that you are pouring out every day, and blessings on your journey.